Hey everybody, welcome back to the show. It is always a pleasure to see our next guest.
Absolutely. She brings lots of stuff with her, and of course there's lots to talk about as well. She has a brand new show opening very soon. Pamela Masik joining us. Hello, Pamela.
Hello.
How are you?
Tired.
Okay, now explain the tiredness, because you told us today that since January you've been working on, for this show, how many pieces?
I'm tired because I work too hard. No, I kind of like when I get into the zone creatively, when I'm inspired to do a collection, I don't just work on one or two or three. I actually I'm working on close to 100 right now at once.
How do you keep track when you've got so many, because you don't just do canvases, you do everything. We've got one of your sculptures here today. You do everything. How do you keep track of what's going on, and you just go with it?
I don't. I'm deliriously crazy.
That we know.
Check me in after. No, what happens is, because I have such a big space, you know, my studio right now is 14,000 square feet.
Yeah.
I'm not going to have it forever. And so I'm trying to take advantage of my opportunity to really give Vancouver a show where I'm pushing myself artistically and personally, it turns out. So when I'm working with that kind of space, I'll have so many paintings. Some are 30 by 30 feet and they're huge, and others are small. And so the space allows me, you know, the distance out of the painting, which usually, you know, my studio started off like at 3 by 3
Right. There's no
know,
escape.
so yeah, exactly.
When you walk in, it's right there.
So I kind of see what I need to do a lot of times before I'm actually doing it.
Yeah.
Tell us about your little friend you've got here today.
Yeah, I brought one of my sculptures. So this is bird brain. So a lot of the elements in this show Revelation have things like aspects from animals and all that, hooves and antlers, and this one has an egg in the mouth and then a nest on top with an antique clock hand and a broken egg. It's a little surreal.
Yeah.
You know, it's my work's definitely taken a turn into a direction that I've only touched on over the years. So.
Why birds? Lots of birds.
Well, my dear, how long do I have? I started, you know, because I don't force what I create, like it just kind of comes out. So, for instance, earlier this year when I was dealing with the controversy with the show, one of my shows being canceled,
The Forgotten, for those who don't know.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I painted this deer head, and my manager came in one day. She's like, "Deer head, oh, okay."
Right.
And I had realized through my process that I was trying to talk about how I felt hunted, and so there's a figure hiding underneath the deer head. And so, you know, there's a lot of mythology I'm referencing. To answer your question, there could be possibly some ideas about that. And Revelation, in fact, is, I think, a very personal story that you kind of explore. You get a map when you get to the studio for the show, and you have a recommended way of viewing the show, because I'm kind of revealing in every piece a story. And I'm trying to engage the viewer with these pieces and these stories.
Well, I was going to ask, when you're working on 100 pieces, how much are they informing each other? How much are they flowing into each other? Or are there places where there's sort of a stop
Oh my
and
God.
a block? Or, you know, once again, how long do we have, right? I mean, it's a good question.
You know, there's like, the great thing about that kind of space is, it gives me a chance to work on so many things and, you know, all that kind of, but you have to stay focused.
Yeah.
And when I walk in the studio, the world disappears, and I'm such a disciplined, passionate, focused artist. But I tell you, I veer off a lot of times.
Yeah,
People
you do.
would never guess that.
We've got
There's the deer head.
There's the deer head.
Yeah.
And there's lots of animals that run through the themes of your paintings. And
Performances and...
we have a very special guest star that your assistant Amanda is going to bring in. His name is Gustavo. Maybe you can tell us, thank God, you know, if this was a spider, I'd be on the ceiling, but I'm not scared of snakes. Tell us about this and how it plays into everything that you're doing.
And the performance and just...
Well,
hi, buddy.
I like to bring...
Coming straight for me, aren't you? Right down the pants wouldn't be a good thing. Tell us about Gustavo.
Well, what I like to do, and I've done this for many years. Let me take the book away, maybe? And
It's blockade.
so what I like to do is I like to bring to life some of the aspects of my work through performance. And so I'm not really that afraid of snakes. It's more spiders. But when he's looking at me like that, no. So, you know, there's a lot of symbolism. Like I did a painting with Ophelia, and I'm kind of referencing a masterpiece. But my version of it is a woman with a ball gag in her mouth.
Yep.
And so there's a lot of
Thank you for getting that right. You had that backwards earlier.
Well,
Don't freak out. That's not going to help the snake.
You're
You're gonna
not
start
sitting
freaking out.
next to it, Mr.
Flip over.
Complicated.
Let's go. I'll sit next to the snake. I'm very comfortable with
pretty.
Wildlife. But performance
I just
really
wanna
does.
hug him.
I mean, we're talking about your art and you working on stuff,
He's a
but
strong
performance
sucker.
continues to be a huge
Wow.
part of what you do.
He's strong.
He's
This is a workout.
strong. Look at your pipes. Are you kidding me? But how important is performance to what you continue to do with your art?
He wants.
I'm going to go over here.
Come here. Okay. So he, no, it's a performance aspect. What I'd like to do is I like to immerse the viewer into the world that I'm creating. So Revelation, yeah, there's stories, there's references, I've done, there's a couple films that'll be shown there as well, installation rooms, there's a confession room, there's a lot of things where I think it's really important to have a cohesive story or something that you're doing with a body of work. It makes it strong, it makes it something that people can understand, hopefully, on some
Yeah.
level, and connect with,
Okay, let's talk about The Forgotten for a minute. You briefly
Yeah.
mentioned it, but it's been...
Do you want to come get Gustavo?
Yeah, let's get Gustavo.
I'm not able to concentrate.
Here, and we can switch
can
around.
switch back.
But you know what? His face is pretty.
It was all fun and games until he was just kissing you. He was kissing you, Pamela.
It was a love tap. It's fine.
Okay. Obviously, I'm not the one that's going to be wearing the snake.
Yes, that's right. That will be someone else.
Let's rewind back to The Forgotten. Michael and I have known you through this process, this amazing process that you went to completing these, is it 69 paintings?
We're serious now.
You were serious again.
Okay.
We
This
just
is
want to tell
the serious
people
work.
when, where can they see it?
Well, I can't publicly say where, but it is going national. It's bigger than the Museum of Anthropology.
Yeah.
It's going to affect people on an international level. There's people, well-respected people actually who are way smarter than me, who are taking hold of the project, and it's great. It's exciting. One day, the time that I get to the place where the foundation is set up and everything's completed, and I have the opportunity to help the community in the way that I had meant to do right from the beginning, no matter what anybody says, any sort of controversy I face. I know that my intention and my integrity has always been there. And, I just think about the 77 children who don't have moms.
Michael and I have seen the collection, and it is meant to be seen. It has to be seen by everybody. It's so important. So I'm glad that that's going to happen. And tell us when.
The fall.
You can tell people.
The fall.
And then, so that's all I'm saying. But we'll get me back here, and I'll tell you all the details.
Yeah, well, and it's an amazing thing, right? And homage to your art and just art in general and the role that it serves in our world and the discussions that it prompts and what it should do. So, thank you.
Thank
So
you.
I went to St. George's School, that private school, for once.
Yes.
Because after all the controversy, I thought,
His alma mater.
how can I, how can I make this a good thing for society? And so I had high school students come in, because essentially, youth, they're going to be our future leaders. And teaching them and opening their eyes to something that maybe we made mistakes as a whole and contributed to. And it was such a moving experience. And to walk into a gym and speak to 500 teenagers.
Yeah, boys. All guys, yeah.
It was a cool experience.
Well, let me tell you, I heard a lot of great things about it as well. You did an incredible job when you were there, and continue on. We love seeing you.
Thank you, Pamela.
Thank you.
Thanks for having
And
me.
we want to tell
Gustavo,
you.
thank you.
Yes.
Over there.
Gustavo.
Amanda, thank you.
Gustavo, let's
Girls
not
and
meet again.
snakes. Okay.
June 22nd is the grand opening event and the public unveiling of Pamela's new project that we were speaking of. It's called Revelation. The exhibition is going to run until September 30th, and it's open by appointment only.
Appointment only.
Just go to the website. All the information about everything that we were talking about is there. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much.
Wait, what?
One thing. So I know you weren't able to come to the VIP and media dinner, but over the years, before I get all clipped, people who've really supported me along the way. I put up a piece of canvas paper on the stage and blindfolded, created a charcoal, and then cut it up and wrapped it for all of the guests to say thank you for your support. So this is for you. And I just think it's important to say thank you along the way.
Thank you.
So.
Thank you.
I appreciate that more than I can
There you
say.
go. And it's dry this time, Mike.
And yeah, that's right. I don't have to hold it dry for us.
Thank you so much.
You're welcome.